IVM.
Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to the Diary of the Traveling Professor. And I'm Siddharth Deshmukh, your friendly neighborhood traveling professor himself. Talking on a Sunday. I'm recording this for the Tuesday. So when you hear this on a Tuesday, you'll hear my Sunday musing voice, to be honest. But I'm also locked down, like all of the others in Pune. Apparently, there's a weekend lockdown because viruses don't attack human beings on weekends, maybe. That's what we've heard. I don't know. Some might argue saying that, weekends are the times when the people go out and congregate in restaurants and stuff like that. And that's why, or just step out because restaurants are closed as well. What the hell am I saying? So today's diary entry was about looking at, this lockdown 2.0 or something. I mean, I could start off with a stupid knock knock joke, knock knock, who's there? Virus, who? Virus 2, because virus 2.0 is actually impacting us, isn't it? Maybe virus 2.0, lockdown 2.0. It is so crazy that one can only have a sense of humor to actually try to understand how the human ape is actually fighting the virus. What is really happening? I was appalled actually to see a Chyawanprash ad. By the way, I love Chyawanprash. Dabur Chyawanprash has been a favorite childhood thing. You may hate it, you may like it. I used to love it. But I saw an ad which featured Akshay Kumar saying, hey, this will help you, fight corona or something like that. I don't know the exact message, to be honest, but I just thought that after Akshay Kumar tested positive, you have egg in on your face, or maybe Chyawanprash on your face, Chyawanprash. I just think that there are so many different ways in which the human ape is making a complete fool of itself when it comes to this fight with the virus, that perhaps there might be some lessons. So if I just imagine this as a game, the human ape versus the virus and how it has happened from, let's say, March 2020 or even before, let's say Jan 2020 to now. Is the virus winning or is the ape winning? Are we actually learning from our behaviors? Are we improving, or are we waiting for some magic pill to suddenly, magic vaccine to suddenly, kind of change things? And by the way, is the virus learning? Because in India, we thought that, we've got the virus licked by about September, but apparently it spent a lot of its time learning and learning how to find a way in which it can bypass the way in which the human ape's immunity system was working around it. So it is really odd. Human beings have many more weapons, though, at their disposal, which perhaps they are not using well enough against the virus. Let me explain. So, if a virus has to kind of propagate itself, what it's doing is that it's mutating at an alarming rate and it's trying to find chinks in our armor as far as, entry through the nasopharyngeal passage and the rest of it. But humans are not just dependent upon creating stronger and stronger immunity responses to the virus. We are also a social animal. We are a social animal, and so therefore we implement social solutions like a lockdown, maybe, or like certain things being closed down temporarily, permanently, and the rest of it. And it has a limited impact on the way in which the virus propagates. But what we must understand in this weird death game that we are playing with the virus is that the virus is also learning. In fact, if I'm going on Roblox, I'm sure that I'm going to find somebody who's actually created a game called The Virus and the Ape. If not, well, any intelligent developer willing to come with me, we'll develop that game together, because I think it really has a future. A lot of times, what tends to happen is that human behavior is driven by the way in which we are kind of looking at what is obvious, what is coming through our senses, not what is abstract. If I could see the coronavirus as a pack of wolves outside my front door, obviously I'm going to be very scared. Sure, I'm also going to make sure that I get vaccinated, but I'm also going to make sure that the wolf at the door is not going to really impact me. I'm sure that a lot of positive stuff happens through wearing masks, by making sure that there's social distancing, by making sure that, a lot of the measures that we are putting in place, like washing hands and just increasing the level of cleanliness, has helped. But I'm not too sure about some of the other behavioral changes that we have got. I mean, some people have become paranoid. Some people continue unhealthy habits, but yet are, going out. Some people are, just flouting rules. I don't know. I also think that the human ape has a huge lifespan, because the huge lifespan also allows younger human apes to kind of say, hey, this is not going to impact me. Not very social of them, but some say that it's a natural cull that's happening, and I think that's a little insensitive. But this is how we are responding. We are responding through reactions, through emotions, through behaviors, and through attitudes. But I think what really matters most, forget the emotions, forget the attitudes and whatever, is behaviors. And so as somebody who studies society, I feel that I must investigate what behavioral changes have happened in the past year that we are going to continue in the future, because those will become building blocks for the way in which human society and therefore business actually is created or recreated rather. So if I have to look at it, and if it's very, very obvious, clearly masks, okay, they're going to stay there for a while. Clearly, social distancing has also happened. Clearly, hybrid things have happened. Clearly, delivery on demand has happened. Clearly, places of congregation are going to be avoided by the human ape. So clearly, you're going to see malls and theaters and the rest of it having a lot of problems. Now, some, like Professor Scott Galloway, might actually argue that this was going to happen 10 years later, and now it's happening today. But, it's a very weird world that we live in. And the world that we live in allows for all kinds of possibilities to coexist. So you have your OTT channels and you have your theaters. You have your radio and you have your podcasts. You know what I'm saying, where I'm going with it. What I'm interested in knowing is, how has the human ape changed behavior? What are the key behavioral changes that have really helped in fighting the coronavirus and which haven't? I mean, when the coronavirus started last year, we were all, probably focused a lot on washing hands and faces and stuff like that. I see lesser of that. Now, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'm not sure. If I look at the way in which we have continued wearing masks, is that a social fine, or is that a punishment-driven behavior, or is it truly because we fear? Really something interesting struck me the other day when I was standing in a line for buying something at a store. And I realized that Indians, who were notoriously famous for not giving too much of personal space to each other, suddenly were looking at giving some more personal space, to be honest. And I think that is driven by fear. I'm not so sure whether it's all a bad thing. I think the virus is coaching us, it's teaching us probably in a lot of ways. And some of those ways might actually help us and help the way in which we function. But behavioral changes are going to be important, because if we are able to predict behavioral changes in the human ape, we will be able to figure out how the world that is going to be recreated after we truly win in this game against the virus, hopefully, or prevail at least, and not in the short term, but maybe in 3 to 5 years, how is the world going to recreate itself? Depends upon the ingenuity of the human ape. I'm hoping that the ape defeats the virus. I hope you enjoyed this diary entry of mine. A little different from normal, but I guess lockdown blues hit everybody, including the traveling professor, especially the traveling professor. And hey, you want to follow me? I'm the traveling professor on Instagram and on LinkedIn. To listen to IVM podcasts wherever you can find them. They're amazing. And until next time, see you soon.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'd like to thank our sponsors on the network this week, Siet Tires and TheWholeTruthFoods.com. So, this week on Advertising is Dead, Varun was joined by Mansi Zaveri. She shares her experience of running a community for parents of young kids and teenagers and of hosting a podcast along the same lines. Gauri Devidayal was joined by Divya Thani on This Round is on Me. Divya works as a global editorial director with Condé Nast Traveler. They discuss the good, the bad, and the ugly of a travel writer's job. On Candid, Kanan Sid is in conversation with Adarsh Gaurav, who recently scored a BAFTA nomination for his role in the Netflix adaptation of The White Tiger. They talk about his role in the show, life pre- and post-stardom, and so much more. On Agla Station Adulthood, Ritash and Aichi talk about the precious time and opportunities lost to the lockdown and share their post-COVID wish list. When it comes to cricket this season, we have you covered. In English, we have Edges and Sledges, which do their show live on YouTube. They look for announcements over there. And for our Hindi listeners, we have Khel Niti, hosted by Rajiv Mishra and ex-Indian cricketer Sabah Kareem. This show is live streamed on YouTube every day at 9:15. Definitely do check these out and hope to see you again next week.
Namaskar, dear friends. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi. Life, as you know, is a journey. And you and I, travelers, how can we celebrate this travel? I have a podcast for you, Begin the Journey. I share stories and moments from my life. Do tune in every Monday and Thursday to listen to my podcast on the IVM Podcast website, app, or wherever you get your podcast from. Cheers.